as fate would have it, Bryan and I met at a wedding. Do you know whose wedding we met at?
Yes. This is very true.
Yeah. And here we are, Bryan Rafanelli, event planner extraordinaire. But we have evolved into creative peers, friends. We were in a COVID pod for a while. And
The party bubble.
In the party bubble, yeah. And
You introduced me to RuPaul, actually.
I introduced you to RuPaul. I was also introduced to RuPaul.
Okay.
I've never watched it since.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was only in that.
We're breaking up.
Yeah, and our friendship has ended. Life's hard. But as an introduction, Bryan, you are an event planner and you have a company that plans. Obviously, weddings is maybe like the flashier, more photograph side, but there's a big piece of it that is like fundraising and all of these other things. And so, why don't you tell us what you do in like one or two sentences so I don't get it wrong?
Well, in black and white, we concept, design, and execute parties on all platforms. So sports, hospitality, destination, corporate, institutional, and yes, private parties that include weddings and parties for party's sake.
Okay. Yeah. Parties for party's sake.
Yeah.
Well, I want to jump right in, Bryan.
Okay.
You come from a large family. Why did you do that?
Why did I come from a large family? Because my father was really horny.
But family, I mean, yeah, let's talk about your family. Your big family.
Five of us.
Okay.
I'm number 4, which I always think is the best position to be in because there's 3 people ahead of me making mistakes that I could learn how to cover.
Is that still
Italian-Irish family.
Okay.
And both from Providence, Rhode Island. Very small place, which is significant in the story because, I was number 4 and I wanted to get out, where number 1, 2, and 3 stayed. And I wanted to leave. I wanted to do anything but be in this small place.
Where was the big place? Boston?
Yeah, the big place was Boston, even though I tried to come here to New York City right out of college. But I had this shit scared out of me at Union Station subway, and I went home.
Not the first nor the last for that have that happen. Did being in a large family have anything to do with
celebrations?
Oh
God, yeah. I always say, my mother celebrated every single day, and I think that it was her. I know it was her stress release, and it still is to this day. All she wants to do is
your mother's still
dinner
here
and have a good time. Oh yeah, she's 91, going strong. Yeah. She loves to celebrate every single thing. So St. Patrick's Day and all the major Christian holidays, of course, Easter and Christmas and all of those kinds of things, but really just made almost every day a party. Like the reason I have so many body issues is because we had dessert every single night.
You don't have any body issues, but what did we eat so much of?
Chocolate pudding.
Well, all right. No, during COVID, it was frozen Oreo, but the thin ones. Yeah. Every day was a party in your house, huh?
Yeah.
Did you know that?
While it was happening? Oh, that's a really good question. No one's ever asked me that. I think I did. I really was always sort of looking forward to the next thing. And, when people often ask me what it is about the business that I love, that I'm in right now, is because it changes all the time. Like I was in your business, and I hate punch lists, and I hate 2-year projects, and I don't have that life. I have maybe 8 months, maybe 6 months. I just got a call today for a project 6 weeks from now. So it's fast, and we get to create things so quickly. So if you think about that in terms of memories, it's similar. I think it's similar.
The event is fast. The creation of the event is fast, but the memory is not supposed to be fast.
Well, I would hope in my world that those memories would last forever. And I was thinking a lot about this coming here. I was thinking that I want to apply that or have people listen to that and understand that's true for a Super Bowl ring ceremony as much as it is for a birthday party. Like they're very, very similar. And sometimes, or a corporate event, but maybe people don't always think of that while they're at a corporate event that they don't want to be at. But I want them to remember that event, and I know my clients do.
What are you doing to reinforce that? How do you insert something into an event that or is there a specific example of something that event planners can do to make something memorable? Like what's memorable? Is it the...
I'll talk for myself now, right? Because I do think that in our world, things can become the same. So I'm going through this phase right now of basically saying we're choking on a sea of sameness. And if you're scrolling through social media and you're looking at parties that my colleagues are doing all over the world that are amazing, by the way, I'm not saying they're not, they can start to look the same.
Yeah.
So how can we and how do we, and I think that's your question, is like disturbing every single thing that happens, the way you're greeted, the way you're brought to a table, what happens during a cocktail party that hasn't happened before. Not just a signature drink, which I'm personally trying to kill, but...
The death of the signature cocktail, you've heard it here.
Don't do it.
All right.
Drink what you like. I know it's weird, but...
Yeah, and less sugar. Let's think about that for a minute. So disrupting what they're used to is what makes it memorable, like catching people off guard.
Sure. And that could be, so I just did a nonprofit event where I said to the chairman of the board and the executive director, when the guests come into the room, when they come off the elevator, you should be standing there. You should be welcoming them. And when I say should, it's the idea that in a normal situation, the most important people, the chairman of the board and maybe the executive director, or the person who's given the most money to the organization, they're buried in the cocktail party,
right?
Swarmed by other people.
Yeah.
But what if you were at the front door? And if, in fact, in this case, it was an event to encourage people to actually give money to a capital campaign for this organization. And I said, if you show your appreciation immediately, like, we are here, we are welcoming you, we really care about you. That one little thing. The other story I have for you is the chairman of the board went up to, we were practicing what he was going to say, and he would introduce himself. He kept on introducing himself. Good evening, I'm Neal Thomas, I'm the co-chair of the capital campaign. I'm like, no. We all know who you are. Mm-hmm. Like, everyone in that room knew exactly who Neal was. So why not just begin? And he really struggled with it. And why am I telling you that story? Because it does, the minute you do something over and over, or experience something over and over the exact same way, most of us just turn our brains off.
Turn it out.
Right?
Well, that is maybe another reason we're here, because there's all this pressure to do social media. I mean, we've been dealing with Instagram for a long time now, right? Yes. As creatives. And our industry, our creative visual industries that we happen to be in, they're like particular fodder for Instagram because there are so many beautiful photos and things. And so,
and the how-to and the how's it made, and pull
inspirations and mood boards, and then the Pinterest piece and all of this.
All true things.
All great things. And but there's also like a need to feed the beast, and we've been doing it for so long, and this format just became suddenly more interesting to me for some reason, to sit and talk about, because we would probably sit and when we talk about work a lot when we're together, so we're going to talk about it. If might as well talk about it here and put us on record with it, and just have one more thing to share.
Shit.
Yeah. Philip is taking furious notes. The idea of disruption is what people remember. Brings me to one of my questions, which is the event, does the party or the event, I guess it's not always a party, or what is it as much about marking that moment as it is carrying it forward?
My answer to that is yes. I think you have to think about this, that we have all of these sentinel moments in our life. And that could be, I was just at my grandnephew's baptism.
Okay.
So of course we're going to do that, and afterwards we marked it with a little party afterwards. Those are sentinel moments that you mark all the time.
Did you throw a little party, Bryan?
No, I did not. I attended.
Have you ever thrown a little party?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
So these are all moments, and even the smallest moment, right? I'm pitching a job and I get the job. That, to me, that's something to celebrate with my friends, or their promotion, or today I was at Dr. Biden's, birthday. Like, these are moments you celebrate. Of course you need to do that, or not need, you do that. Where I'm going is, like, can you think about it a little bit differently, because so it doesn't just feel like traffic. It just doesn't feel like you're getting in the car and you're going somewhere. Mm-hmm. That separates, to me, like, the heart from maybe the brain.
Because the brain piece.
Too deep for you?
No, because I guess when I was, I just accepted, like, let's say the wedding is one of the biggest events you'll have in your life. One if one chooses to get married. Mm-hmm. But is that because the wedding is the most important event, or is it because at some point we decided marriage is a really essential thing, it's super helpful, it needs to be marked? Because otherwise, because we really need to reinforce that, like, by putting the most emphasis on it, it, like, helps everybody almost, like, think to a time that is not modern, and, like, what and why are we messaging that these are the most important things to mark? So
because they were. So if we go back in history, right, and we think about why we celebrate, then we have to go back to thinking about in the Roman times, or in the 1800s, or in the 1700s, whatever it may be, and when people merged their lives together.
Yeah, they were merging countries sometimes.
Right, countries, dowries, giant fortunes.
Yeah.
So there's a lot there. We're not doing that, at least in modern day America. We're not doing that, right? Mm-hmm. And in most places, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, you're taking that away. Although there is the presence of these two families coming together, which I actually talk about all the time. That they are coming together, and that getting married, for example, is like a boot camp for life. And you're learning how to compromise and come together, and how you spend money, and how you even celebrate, and how you determine what you think is beautiful together. Like, those are all really, they can be very complicated things when it's supposed to be a party. Right?
Yeah, I know. Well, it's just supposed to be a house, but it turns out being a lot of decisions about self-discovery, which we were talking about with our guest Katie, like the idea of all of these choices people make in their homes, wanting them to reflect themselves. And I mean, that's even, I think, more direct sometimes in an event. I guess I keep thinking about brides and weddings, but I need to think broader than that. But, like, I would assume most brides and grooms think most of the choices they're making in their wedding are a direct reflection of who they are.
Right. Who they are, or their families are. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's part of the story. But I often say this, that the CEO is the mother of the bride. So if we shift to corporate or institutional, it is very similar.
Okay.
You become finally the chancellor of a great university. Now it's your turn, right? It's your turn to show this university, this community, your vision, right? So is that similar to?
I think so. I mean, vision is forward thinking, right? If you're showing a vision, there's an event we're marking today, but it's about a vision. Sure. It's about a vision of two people living together, sharing a life together. It's about a vision forward. It's not just...
what happens at weddings that I think is always like, it can be a little uncomfortable, especially if you don't want children.
It's not signature cocktails.
No. It's that all these stories are told, and all your friends who are there that are your own age talk about the past and all the crazy things you did. Your parents talk about your childhood and how you became this amazing adult. And then lots of people, your grandparents, maybe some of the older people in the room, they talk about the family you're eventually going to have. Like, they actually are laying out this future for you. So let's shift back to corporate or to a sports team that, this team has fought to get to the top and they win a Super Bowl. So now it's their time and it's their brand, and it's a very valuable situation to them.
It is. So what are they? So there's a memory piece, and then there's also a vision piece.
Right.
Does one of them matter more to you? Are you in this for one of them more than the other?
I'm in it really to make sure they both happen. I don't know that it's one over the other, because I do understand how important it is. And you have to sort of justify this thing that you are doing. and investing in, right? And, when you build a house, there is a value to that house, right? When I build a party, that's where you have to get careful, right? Where, like, if you said, oh, I'm spending X amount of money on this party and the party lasts 6 hours and therefore it costs this much per hour, right? I buy a house, I'm going to live in that house for 5 years or 10 years, and I spend X amount invest into that house. There's going to be a return there. So what's the return on a celebration and your words, memory? What is the return on that memory?
Yeah, what is the ROI on a 6-hour event?
I often, when I'm sitting down with a client, I'll be like, how much do you want to invest? And they always...
They catch you?
Well, it's a little bit of a play on the word budget because nobody likes the word budget, right? But it is to say you are investing in this, whether you're investing in your family, your business, the product you've built, right? Those are all, they're all so similar. Or the donors, like the people who are investing into your nonprofit, how much are you willing to invest back into them so that they say, I'm in the right place, I'm investing, I want to be here, I want to give you my money, it makes sense to me.
Does it make you feel better when people give more money?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
It makes me feel better when they participate in something that I know, like no one wants to swing around $1 million, right? So when they do it, it really does mean we've done something, and not just in that one night, of course, in a whole 2-3 year plan that we've worked with the organization on. But it's important, and of course I feel good.
Yeah, investing in people through events. So if someone gets married, I mean, you're investing in a family, they're investing in you. Your guests have shown up. They've bothered to be there, even in a corporate event, right? Maybe even more so. But there's some of that where maybe it's a destination wedding. Maybe people have to make effort to contribute what they contribute as a guest. Like, what is the gathering? What is the guest's presence? How does that factor into the investment piece? What are they investing, and what is the payout, if we're going to talk in these terms?
Well, look, I preach this all the time, that if you are going to do a destination wedding, if you're going to go to Greece or you're going to go to Istanbul, right, that's extraordinary, but you're putting yourself out to do that. You're giving up your time, which has a huge value with your family and your friends. And yes, you could stay home, right? And look, going to Istanbul for a fully paid wedding, which we did a couple of years ago, that I thought that was good. I thought this was going to be hard for those 400 people to say no. But I still felt we had an obligation to them that once they got there, that they had like a hell of a time. They had the time of their life. And that we took care of everything so that they would remember that. So for the average person who's not flying 400 people over to Istanbul, it's something I really think people should think about. Like, let's go to Nantucket, or let's go to Kennebunkport in July. Well, I'd rather go to my house in July, But I'm going to go because I honor you and you're my friend. I'm going to do it. But I believe you, on the other hand, have to satisfy. You have to do something to respect me. You can't just invite me to this place and ask me to give my time and not have a good time. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I certainly think so.
Really unreasonable.
I mean, I'll cook for you, Bryan. I'll do whatever you want. But what does it mean to a guest?
You gave me the best room in the house, so I was very happy about that.
I did. Yes. You need to come back out.
Actually.
What was that?
Other than yours.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you had air conditioning, though. Minor details.
It's okay.
Why do guests attend these weddings? Like, what drives are they seeking the memory themselves? Like, what do they want out of it? I mean, a good time, but like, do people attend a fundraiser altruistically or out of social obligation? It doesn't matter.
Combination of all those things. The fundraisers we create, I want to be sure that people really have a great time. And what I mean by that's not necessarily how much money is spent. It's really about how it operates. Like that, if we say it's going to begin at 7 and at 10, it does.
Yeah.
Service is going to be impeccable. you're actually going to be able to hear the CEO speak or the executive director speak and tell a story. You're going to tell a story in a way that is compelling. So that could be spoken word, that could be animation, that could be film. All of those things to me should be the best they possibly could be. Great content.
Out of respect for the guests and because you want to achieve
inspire them, right?
Them.
And have people say, I want to come back here. That's what you want to do, because if you think about, when I sort of went into the sameness thing, you're like, I know what a chicken dinner looks like. Yeah. I know what a political event looks like. Mm-hmm. I know what a fundraiser looks like at my kid's school. And if it's not great,
so you're saying that the event almost becomes less valuable if you don't remember it.
Well, of course, yeah, because you don't want to go back, right?
Yeah, but also you don't always. Not only do you not want to go back, but the forgetting piece seems to matter to me. Like you just don't even clock it. I guess you don't go back because you had a bad time, but you also, it doesn't stay with you. Like it wasn't inspiring. It didn't.
Right.
There are a handful of charity events I have been to in my life that I did learn something. I mean, that really stuck with me. One example is StoryCorps, which is kind of relevant to this. But StoryCorps is, I mean, I guess maybe it still exists, is NPR. And it's this organization that helps people sit down and interview each other, and they tell stories. So like a grandparent and a grandchild, or a married couple will sit down in a booth. They will kind of ask each other questions like, how did you fall in love with me? And it gets recorded, and then it's stored in the Library of Congress. And it's a way to record just a different piece of history that's harder to capture. And I learned that by going to a charity event. Someone needed a body to put at a table. And I guess this photo, I'm going to pull this over, kind of really hit me. And I don't know if this organization, but like this idea of children drawings and the book. There's also like a martini. There were a couple of funny things. It's like, this is about kids, but we see you, you're the adult. But whatever the heart of this organization does is something that's incredibly important on a human level, right, for some small kid. But you're charged with making sure that people remember that, so that those small kids continue to get whatever they need.
And we're challenged, right, to say, how can we tell that story year after year after year, have the event be at a certain level, how you know that you're going to have a great experience, you're going to be treated well, you are going to learn something new every single time, right? So how can we do that? And like visuals, of course, are always incredibly important. So if the kids need books and this is a lit up book, it's a sort of charming way to present it, and not really know what it is until you sit down, see all the animation or the drawings of the kids in a different form every single time. That's, to me, that is critical. And those are the tools that we have in the room to do all of that. So it's not just the old-fashioned way where someone would stand behind a podium and try to tell that story, right? It's in addition to all of those things.
Mm-hmm. So if you are planning an event, when you're planning an event, do you start from... You're starting from scratch with this organization, or do you sort of take and evolve? Like,
I think in the beginning of my career, I wasn't so long game, but now I'm much more long game. Which is the beauty of my business. I think is a little bit different than yours, but to say that we could come up with 5 great ideas and 3 of them are the organization's just not ready.
Okay.
Right? It just doesn't make sense, but they're great. We love these ideas, and we should do that in year 3 or year 4 or year 5, because it is a long game. Every nonprofit is a long game. It's an investment in time, over time. It's not going anywhere.
That's right.
We hope to cure cancer, but we're probably not going to.
Thanks, Bryan.
Or at least we used to think we were not able to.
Yeah.
Now we are, but
now we will.
Right. But there will be another cancer,
yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. What So you've been to an uncountable number of events.
Yes, well, we produce in 2025. We did 110. This year we might do 115.
So what do you?
That's 235 in 2 years.
That's a lot, Bryan. That's a lot of.
My hair used to be your color.
What is your takeaway from what matters in life? Going to all these events, like what do you remember from these events?
I remember. I love that question because it's the big things and the little things, and over time, what I see is when a group of people come together, and let's say they do raise a lot of money, and continue to raise a lot of money, and continue to be part of the organization, and join their boards, and give to their capital campaigns, and then take. I'm on the board of the Boys and Girls Club, and so. Did I ever imagine I was going to have interns in my office from the Boys and Girls Club when I joined? No, I didn't. But I learned about that over time. Where did I learn that? I learned at events when someone presented a work program to me. So they're like, I love that sense of community that is successful, that does come together, is very purposeful, and by the way, is a combination of highly, highly, highly successful people and successful people. And successful in different ways, not just the billionaires, and there are plenty of those, but all sorts of different people coming together and really believing in something, and that it's not just a story, or it's not just I'm going to go to this event and I know what to expect, and I hope I can get home by 10:30. It's not that. It's like people are seeking connection. They want to see each other. So when we create these events that happen year after year, one of the events I'm talking about, it's called House Party. It's gone on for 20 years. 20 years.
Yeah, explain to me what it is, Bryan.
House Party is an idea that the event would move from one more spectacular house year after year after year. So lots of board members, very successful, build beautiful homes. You build them, you design them. So now it's time to throw a party for party's sake.
Right.
And you imagine you do this for a nonprofit at your home. And so
people are coming into this great house that they wouldn't normally see.
They'd walk through the front door and go out to the back yard and have a seated dinner for 400 or 500 people under a tent that we took about 2 weeks to build and transform into something pretty fantastic and surprising, and then tell the story of the organization. Very personal, right? It's not there's something special about it that you're not in a hotel ballroom, and I'm not bashing hotel ballrooms because I do a lot of business in them, but
no, anytime you get invited to a private house,
personal, right? So it's like as if I'm coming to your house, and that's why it's called House Party. It's a fundraiser for the Boys and Girls Club. What do? They have clubhouses.
Right.
Whew. Genius.
Who came up with this idea, right? So that's an example of like you took away from that event. You have people working for you now through the Boys and Girls Club, interns. Yeah.
And I took so much more of, my perception of what the Boys and Girls Club was doing versus what they were really doing is,
what is it?
Remarkable. Well, I mean, basically they're building great communities at the end of the day. That's what they're doing.
How?
By bringing kids together, right? Sometimes in their most sort of vulnerable ages of having lots of choices out there. Of like not going to school.
Right.
Hanging out with kids that are not the best kids, or not, feeling awkward and not fitting in. And so they go to this place because their parents, 2-income houses, they have to work. They can't be there after school for their kids. So where are their kids going to go this summer? Where do kids go in the summer? They go to clubhouses. And they're part of, there's swim, gyms and pools and all those kinds of things, but there's team building and AI and computers and, innovation labs. And so there's these great things are happening all over the country.
Essential, really, for these kids.
Sure. And I often say the donors, like, this is all, you provide all of this for your children. And so we get to provide all of this for Boston. In this case, it's in Boston, for the community in Boston.
Well, that's a pretty big direct impact, don't you think?
Yeah, can be. It has, sure.
So you think event planning and storytelling are almost parallel?
Yeah, they have to be. They have to be, because when they're not...
Are you a good storyteller, Bryan?
Am I allowed to say yes? Um, uh, yeah.
Yeah.
At this point in my career, yeah. And I'm a good listener, and I've been gifted with, that sense of being intuitive about something, and that's what I like. So in the worlds that I work in, right, we talked about it. I'm doing weddings, something so personal, to corporate events, to nonprofit events. I sit at the kitchen table with the donors who give to those nonprofits.
Right.
I sit at the kitchen table with the husband and wife team who win a Super Bowl. So I hear them. I hear what they talk about. I hear what they think is important and what they're connected to. Or even I love telling the story where you'll call me and say, oh, I went to this amazing party on Saturday night in New York City. It was amazing. And I'll be like, why, Neal?
No, I know you're really just using me for.
I am using you. And then you would say something.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm always very curious about what you're going to say.
But what did... You're sitting at the kitchen table with donors. You're sitting with a husband and a wife who just won the Super Bowl. You're listening to these stories. So what are the stories that we all share most in common?
It's a combination of things that are really surprising. Sometimes exactly what you expected. Sometimes it's a simple confirmation of like, yeah, they're good. They're really good. That was a great event, and those kids are amazing, and this organization is amazing. It's a confirmation. People are constantly looking for that, and they deserve it if the story is told well.
Confirmation that the thing they're celebrating matters, or that they matter? Or...
Yeah, it matters. And the time that you invested into being part of it matters.
What do people tell you years later that they remember most about things you've done?
It's sometimes as small as silliest things, and sometimes it's putting a tent on the 50-yard line at Gillette Stadium with Elton John. They remember that.
Yeah.
They also remember the jumbotrons with Breakfast at Tiffany's, which was Bob and Myra Kraft's favorite movie when it came out.
Okay.
And it was their 40th anniversary on the 50-yard line of Gillette Stadium, right? People remember that. And why? It's big.
It's big.
It's surprising.
But why does it matter that they remember
personable, so there's that perfect combination of the splash and then narrowing it down to something that was so meaningful for them. And they sort of showed their more vulnerable side of what they really cared about when they first met. It's cool.
People connect more when we're vulnerable, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, when you're showing who you truly are.
Well, that's the chairman greeting people a little bit too. That puts them at the front line, right? So that's making them
that might not
accessible.
be intuitive, and that's why I brought it up of doing something that might take you outside your comfort zone, but actually would really show to your friends and to your colleagues how much you cared, how important they were to be there. That
you want to be accessed. Right, like by making ourselves or putting ourselves in a vulnerable or accessible place that we wouldn't usually be. We're signaling that we want to connect. Right. We're making ourselves more available to it. I had another question, Bryan. That you're either going to know the answer or you're going to think this question is too heady. But do you think that we can access joy, or do you think that joy is the reward for something else we do? And in the context of an event, if there are successful moments at the party, do people experience joy, or can we kind of go right to joy? It doesn't matter.
The reason I'm hesitating is because I believe that we all have different definitions of joy. So what is joyful? What makes you feel joyful? So as a designer, I want there to be, I want there to be something that's kid-like. I want there to be something that has a sense of humor. I love color because I think that produces joy. It makes you smile. And anything that is a reference to your childhood makes you smile, right? Makes you feel good. So it can be that way. Somebody's laugh can do that.
Yeah.
You know, we do this thing where we're trying to quiet a room of like 600 people, and we call it a shush video, and it's all little children like going like shh, and like that. The whole room quiets down and then starts to laugh because there are all these like kids like doing like telling you basically to like shut the hell up, right?
To be quiet.
But there's something really beautiful and joyful about it.
Yeah.
You know, as much as if I bring in 100-person gospel choir, right? You know, that's pretty joyful.
Mm-hmm. So the joy is kind of a byproduct. You get it. We can get to it, but we've got to do these other things. We've got to make someone laugh. We need to make them remember an easier time of life or surprise them, right? And then joy is like the reward system for it. So maybe we can't just pursue joy directly. Like we can't just like go straight to joy. We have to actually decide what brings us joy and then go find those things.
So you're going to be like, you're crazy, Bryan. I went to an event last night, 1,000 people. I'm like on the red carpet.
I was just sitting at home. It's weird. It's so awkward.
I'm in my,
how many people?
Gucci Adidas collab suit. Everyone loved it. And I'm being interviewed and they're like, oh, tell us, the fit. It's so great. Tell us what you're wearing. I was like, oh my God. And then they said, oh, spin around. So I jumped up and spun around, like
wow,
in midair. I know, I'm strong,
Bryan.
And I just saw it online. I saw it on social media. I'm like, oh my God! But it brought me joy. Like honestly, like what I loved about the clip on social media was my laugh because I was like, this is ridiculous.
It was so sincere, though.
I'm gonna have a really good time doing this, and hopefully not hurt myself.
But you do that. That comes naturally to you.
Well,
it does.
When I let it in, sure.
Huh.
I'm having a joyful time right now.
Are you? I'm like a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie, Bryan.
Well, you should be, but
sometimes. I mean, I think about.
You can invite me back.
Invite you back?
Am I going to become a regular?
Sure. I mean, it's just down the street for us. How often? You're here all the time.
I know. You're right.
Well, we can talk about something else.
Well, the traffic was a bitch.
We walked today.
I should have walked.
I mean,
I apologize.
I think that we probably made it in the same amount of time.
Yeah, okay.
But it was late enough in the day that there was shade.
Joy, by the way.
Traffic does not bring us joy. Events bring us joy.
Unless I don't want to go to the event, then it brings me joy.
Sorry, traffic.
Right.
It's the worst. Let's just. Do you mind if we go through these?
Yeah. But put your hands on that one.
This one?
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
this is Cabo.
This is Cabo. This is at the Viceroy Hotel.
Yep.
There is a water feature at the Viceroy Hotel, and basically a lake, but it's very shallow.
Yep.
And so we're looking at a dining table that is floating in the water feature.
Yeah, I noticed.
And so guests were told.
This was my question.
That they were going to be asked to take their shoes off. And they did, obviously, and not wear long dresses.
At their own peril.
And they loved it, but look at this. So you could approach it and say, okay, this is really weird. I'm going to get wet. Or you could look at it and say, this is awesome, right? This is like an amusement park ride.
You have to disassociate from everyday life or you're not going to remember it. Like stepping in water, eating dinner with your feet in the water is what brings the ability to remember it. So that's...
No, I find it hard to believe that anyone at this dinner party forgot this dinner party.
Yeah.
And it was Cabo, and it was 80 degrees, and it was beautiful breeze, and so all the practical stuff went away.
How can you do that in smaller ways? Like, is it something that we should do? I'm just thinking now. Maybe
I guess
maybe
if
next
you
time
have
as
a
like I
pool
really
with
want.
a shallow end.
No, Bryan, you're being so technical.
Sorry.
Do you have a pool?
Is this the do-it-yourself part of the
DIY? No, I was just thinking like I could put a bucket of water under the dining table and tell Philip.
And like soak your fingers in it.
Right here for dinner.
It's going to feel weird. It's a saucepan, but
I want you to remember this. Put your feet in the bucket.
I can't wait for you to come to the Cape. I'm going to make you do
Well, there's a little DIY lesson there. Like if you want to mark a moment, I think of like, oh, this is special. We should like do something more extravagant than we would usually do it, which is different than just doing something different than we would usually do it. Can be.
Sure. You have to be careful of that. You have to be careful of saying, I saw this thing at this event a couple weeks ago, and I'm going to do it at my event.
Mm-hmm.
It's my donut wall story. Like when donut walls were on trend.
You might have to tell me more about it.
It's just like a wall of donuts, like on little pegs and all different flavors. And
okay, you can eat them.
You can eat them. You take them off and you eat them. So somebody did this, and it went all over social media, and then guests, like clients of mine, were asking for donut walls.
Yeah.
And I was like, but what? Like, unless you own Dunkin' Donuts or a donut company, I don't understand the story, like how it connects.
Oh.
It's probably why I hate signature drinks so much.
I didn't know about the donut wall. Do you have lots of things?
Requests for donut wall?
Or just general, things that show up and you're like, oh, this.
Well, of course. That's what trends are all about, right?
Yeah.
Right now caviar is huge, right? Caviar
Every
bumps of
restaurant,
like putting caviar in your finger and, licking your finger.
I know,
or your
on the
hand.
tater tots, with the Fritos.
Huge.
It's every, it is disturbingly quick how it all, just immediately. Or maybe I just live in the echo chamber of places that serve caviar, and we're going to have to cut this out.
Bougie.
Bougie.
Don't be ashamed of your success.
I'm not ashamed of my success. Still trying to achieve it. What are you talking about? What? I'm always impressed that you have done things in the White House.
Mm-hmm.
The holiday pieces I thought were really neat. I couldn't find any photos of them, but what is it like to have a personal connection?
I'll give you a copy of my book.
Well, I didn't have one I could easily give to my office to print. I have multiple copies of your book.
Kidding.
Where was our friend the other day when he sent us a group picture of your book? Do we know?
No.
This is an aside, but Bryan and I got a text from a mutual friend. His name is Byron, and then we'll bleep it out if he doesn't want to be in it. And Byron sent a picture of Bryan's book. Byron was in.
Remember where that was?
He was somewhere, and he said, Byron was very excited that your book was there, and Byron is like
it shows up on coffee tables
like
all over the world.
Yeah, and Brian's response was, "Is it signed?"
Right.
And Byron was like, "No, but I'll be there tomorrow." So Byron signed it for Bryan.
Right.
So now somebody has illegally
one of my books signed
by Byron,
not by me. Right. Aspen.
Why did you do that?
Which part?
This big.
Oh, the white piece.
Yeah. How did you think of it? That's a beam.
Yeah, because it's a beautiful polo horse barn, but looking back at this of the couple getting married,
mm-hmm.
it was weird, and really what's behind that
busy
and not soft and not beautiful.
Okay.
And so we decided we needed to create something so that it would have a solid backdrop for the photographs, and the bride was actually coming out of that barn,
mm-hmm.
so we decided that it deserves something a little more grand than just a simple, janky barn door.
I'm sure it's a lovely barn door.
It's not.
Oh, it wasn't?
No.
Okay.
No.
This looks elaborate. This must be Istanbul.
That is Istanbul, right? That's
wow.
a seated dinner for 400 people on the Bosphorus. And those sort of fireworks going off in the background. And it's one of my favorite stories. A rainstorm came swinging through Istanbul. It was threatening to 3 days before this wedding that we had built a outdoor dining room for 450 people on.
Mm-hmm.
And so we could not go inside the palace because that's where the after party was. And we had taken over the ballroom at the palace. So we couldn't unbuild that ballroom to
It's so inconvenient
inside.
when you can't go into the ballroom of the palace.
Because if we built it up
every
for an
time that
afterparty.
happens, I get
this is
so
complicated,
frustrated.
But we were playing with the weather here. We were chasing time. And so we scheduled this. We moved the ceremony from across the Bosphorus on the Asian side to the European side. We then kept on timing this. So you got married, then you had cocktails, and you came out for dinner. And then at the end of dinner, you went inside for dancing. And if the storm was going to come, we would know that. How would we know that? Because the bride's cousin was a captain on a container ship on the Bosphorus. And I found out like 3 days earlier. So we threw him in a tuxedo, and he was there talking to all his buddies on all the container ships and basically following the weather up the river. Yeah. And so we timed this. So when they gave me the cue, they're like, Mr. Rafanelli, the storm is coming. I cued the groom. He went up on stage. He thanked his new family, the bride's family. He toasted them. The fireworks went off. And then invited everybody inside the palace for dancing. And everyone went inside. They closed the doors of the palace, and they kept on going for the rest of the night. They like party till 5:30 in the morning, never looking back. Well, if you did look back, it was the largest hailstorm in Europe in like 30 years, just pummeling this dinner party outside.
Wow.
I know. That was a memory.
You're smart and creative, Bryan. Huh.
When I went to the father of the bride and said we had to build what I call a ghost ballroom on the 4th floor of the palace, we literally just 10,000 square feet of carpeting, a whole empty dining room, flowers, linens, everything, in case we had to go inside. And I laid it out for him. He said, I'm sure you'll make the right decision, Bryan.
Yeah.
We never used it.
Did you? Yeah. I mean, where's this?
This is in the...
Looks like it's Boston, maybe.
It is. It's in the Boston Public Library. It's a McKim building. It's extraordinary. In the reading room.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Really
Who
special
gets
spot.
to throw events in this library?
Actually,
This
much like here in New York,
Yeah.
you know, like the Met and the New York, of course, the New York Public Library and all major institutions. I don't know, you just saw the Gucci show at the Guggenheim, but you know, this is an income source for most institutions now, and it's a real moneymaker. So anyone can get married in the New York Public Library or the Boston Public Library that would like to invest in that.
Invest in it, right? Okay, right.
I'm like waiting for the big trick question. What is it going to be?
Well, the where I wanted to end is, which we touched on earlier, but I feel like you haven't given me the
answer you
the
want.
vulnerable answer that you owe me, which is having been like at all of these events, like weddings and events that raise money that have enormous impact on health and children. And all these investments and parties, and we're ticking through life. Parties, you say, matter, but what matters most to you, having been privy to all of these parties? Like, what has that changed? What matters to Bryan from when you started?
Really hard for me to answer because they do matter, and there's no question that they matter.
Of course they matter.
But I do believe, or I should say, I believe that putting the time and energy into creating something that is actually unique to that moment, even if you celebrate your birthday every year for your whole life, that every year it's different, is also important. There's no question about it. It's not just gathering. And look, this could be some of my own stuff. You know, I just celebrated my mother's 91st birthday and like literally took it over. It was at my sister's house and I hired the caterer and I brought all the flowers in and I did special place cards. And then we actually took questions. My niece and I wrote all these questions and put them in a hat and people pulled out the question. And the question was basically like, if you were stuck on an island with mom, what would you bring? Or, you know, just silly things like that,
great.
which actually perpetuated these great stories. So would that have been an amazing birthday with just the questions in the bowl without all of the beauty that surrounded it? Maybe.
Maybe.
But I'd like to believe that it was a combination of all those things.
Yeah.
And whether you hire a caterer or you don't, or you have a beautiful floral designer come in or you don't. Like one of the first parties I ever did it was actually on Christmas Eve, and I was at my husband's sister's house, and I never met them before. We weren't married, and they went off to church, and I'm staring at their dining room table, and there's like, there's this tablecloth on it and some plates, but I was like, oh, I got to do something. And I went downstairs and I pulled out all the wrapping paper, the Christmas wrapping paper, and I wrapped the whole top of the dining room table, and I made paper chains, and like, so they came back to this, like, and my nieces and nephews were like, 5, 6, 7 years old, and they came back to this, like, completely, think Elf, it was like, just like insane. And my sister-in-law was kind of like, oh, wow. Like, but then she was like, she talks about it, all the kids, they're now in their 30s, right? They talk about it all the time, and they're like, that was insane. And my sister-in-law even said, like, I thought it was a little weird, like, wrapping paper on the top of a dining room table, and I hope you didn't ruin my dining room table. But I know that meant it created a situation. Like, it created so much excitement for everyone. And for years after that, every Christmas I would go in. If we threw a Moroccan party in Aspen, a birthday party, we'd have a Moroccan Christmas. Like, it was like I would bring everything and like reset it up.
But why, Bryan? Why do you care? Like, why does anyone around you do that?
What do you mean by around me? Well, certainly my mother, my sister, not to the lengths I do, because they don't have the access that I have.
Sure, but that's I think we can put that aside.
Yeah.
But your example puts that out. Like, you now, sure. I mean, and that's why, like, your effort into something actually has to be kind of larger than my effort, or because everybody knows you can pull it together in a certain way. But sitting there in a home that wasn't yours, where there was only, why did it matter to you to go to the effort to wrap the table?
I guess I felt that I wanted to do something to make the event more joyful, more exciting, more fun for the kids, and for me, quite frankly.
Okay, there we go.
Like, it was fun. It was a fun thing to do, and so I was like, I want to do this, and I definitely took a risk. I didn't know these people very well, right? I was just like,
it worked. Still
it
around.
totally worked, and and so that kind of effort of like doing a little bit more, right? I do think matters, and it does create a reaction. And not to put the spotlight on me or for the attention, it's for the experience. It's like, this can be different. We can make this different.
We can make it better. We believe in that too. Philip thinks that I should stop, but I'm not going to.
Okay. Is he just ragging on you, or do you?
Well, let's see. This says that we've been in here for 53 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And we started at 5:20, so we'll probably have to wrap it.
Yeah.
But I think you said something that I relate to, but they're throwing the parties because we're raising money and we're getting married, but you do it over and over and over again because you actually care to signal to even the people in your own life that you're willing to do something more for them to have a better experience, to possibly remember it, as opposed to just another Christmas or whatever that was.
Right. I do.
Because you
and
think
so
that
maybe
matters?
It is completely self-motivated. I'm not sure. It's just like I can't stand the sameness, the mediocre, same way every single time, same expectation. I can't.
So
There's got to be more to all of this than that.
Yeah.
And that's why great design, right? Architecture, interiors. I mean, every hotel is different, and they're trying to outdo everything from the spa to the bathroom to the, and they truly are different experiences.
They are, yeah.
And, and from the most basic level to the most extraordinary. I think it's, I don't know. And we have been doing this for thousands of years. This isn't.
That's true.
Everything has evolved, and sometimes become more and more extraordinary, or more and more smart. Like, those are all the things that I'm looking for all the time, because I don't think it actually has to be extravagance that brings you joy, or it's like, oh my God. No, it's a little bit more of, oh my God, this incredible thing happened.
Because sometimes the incredible thing that happens is just not doing what everybody thinks should happen,
right.
Which is what you said at the beginning,
right.
And which I think is maybe an important thing in the flattening and the sameness that you say you're experiencing in your industry, but I think people are experiencing it like the rebel, like it's the being a rebel should always be encouraged, right? That's what the art world is about. Like rebellion, not sameness. And rebellion is key. And rebelling against the status quo, rebelling against a trend, or rebelling against something we don't believe in is crucial.
Well, it certainly makes life a hell of a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
It's just as a baseline, it does. And now, and I'm often, I do not surround myself with people who are vanilla. Like, and there's nothing wrong with vanilla people, but I don't. So I can't reference that, but I don't want to produce anything like that. And I think that an event, again, whatever category it is, if you're going to do this, if you're going to ask people to come into a room for X number of time, that it should be the best time it can be, no matter what it is.
And the best time is the time they're going to remember, and they're going to remember it because something that they are not used to happening is happening to them.
They're going to remember.
So that they can have something else to remember.
And sometimes just when you think they didn't remember, I'm always amused by that. They're like, I can't believe it when you did that thing. And I'm like, oh my God,
that was the thing you remember. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, thanks, Bryan.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it. It's good to see you.
Nice to see you.
I'm sorry I didn't get to go to the Gucci party last night. What are you doing tonight?
It wasn't last night, but
what do you have planned? What's going on tonight?
Just dinner with friends.
It's fun.
Or a friend, I should say.
There is a Irish pub downstairs that maybe I'm going to check out after this.
That's the word.
And Philip has a haircut he's got to get to.